What's going on, family? What's going on, familia? Let's get started a little bit here. I don't know how long I'll be on. Probably longer than usual. I'm not sure. We are here because we all need to continue to ask for justice for the Wells family, for Nolan Wells. Okay. Let me go ahead and go live on the mobile side also because I don't pay for StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm trying to get into content creating, but that's it's gonna take some time. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about a few things. I wanna talk about what I really want to talk about today is something that they don't tell you, right? So, and the way I know about this is because I've been targeted before for posting something on social media, right? So I'm gonna talk to you guys about something that you may not know. Some of you may already know. Um, so yeah, so let me go ahead and do that real quick. Let me just set this up. I apologize. And I want to start. I want to start this live by giving a shout out. Um, let's start real quick once I go live here on the phone. All right, so justice for Nolan Wells. I want to give a shout out to everybody, all the content creators that have been following up, that have been doing their homework or pretty much putting in their time and effort to figuring out this mystery. So more Flacco, hype plus, a little bit of everything. Trent out loud, Crime Watch. There's a lot of content creators out there. I'm obviously Big Zoe TV. Um, that Panda Girl. There's a lot. There's a lot of content creators out there. Staying on top of the information, staying on top of the case, and that's exactly what we need to do, guys. Because see, the problem is there's something that you don't know, and that one thing that you don't know is right that these corporations, these social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, doesn't matter who it is, what it is, they have information. Okay. It doesn't matter if the profile has been temporarily suspended. You and I know that on social media, when you go to, I don't know if you have ever tried to delete your profile or get rid of it, like permanently get rid of your tag URL, like the website, the slash, and your username. If you've tried to get rid of your profile, every time you try to remove your profile, social media always ask, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Your account will, especially Meta, right? Especially Instagram, Facebook. They say, "Oh, your account will be suspended or on pause for about 30 days." All right? That's one. Two, I've worked in IT before. Okay? When I say I worked in IT, I've worked in NOC, Network Operations Center. I've done point of sale for petroleum companies such as Sunoco. So, back office PC and point of sale, both in the same company. Um, Back office PCs, which is more like software, hardware troubleshooting. I've done mobile deployment for Pepsi. So I've had to set up various cell phones, smartphones, with a scanner, with a printer, and things like that, with usernames, and deploy that, and then teach, obviously, their employees what they have to do, or if they having issues, help them with the phone, etc. The vendors, Frito Lay. So I've done a little bit of everything when it comes to IT, whether it's mobility, whether it's a computer, whether it's a remote network, different things. All right. So social media, okay, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they have the information. Any little bit of information, any little bit of information, those social media corporations and companies have it. They're holding it. They're not they're not sharing it. Okay? They're not sharing that information. All right? That's one. The FBI really got to get involved with Facebook in order to get that information, but they can. Absolutely, they can. Here's something you may not know: companies might not tell you what your password is, but they know what your password is. You hear me? I'll repeat that again for those that don't know network. Okay? Companies know your password. All right? So, Facebook, Twitter, uh, Instagram, all of them, they all know your password. The thing is, they act like they don't because they have to. They can't tell you that they know. And even if they tell you that they know, they're not supposed to give you that information. Okay, it's not. It's part of protocol. Okay, security. Even if they know the password, I used to see passwords, and I can't tell you if you missed the capital letter. I can't tell you if there's a missing number. I had to send you a link. I had to send you some kind of information for you to verify who you were in order for you to change, your password. You know what I'm saying? You had to change your password. You know what I'm saying? So social media, these companies that you're using, all that social media that you're using, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it shows you how much they care about these tragedies. You know what I'm saying? So so right now, right, we have, and we need to continue this, right? We need to have everybody pretty much, um we pretty much need to have everybody continuously share information. We need everybody to make content, make videos, make shorts, make TikToks about the situation of Nolan Wells, because we need these companies to get involved and to crack open this case. All right. If if these companies don't get involved, they're not they're not helping you. Facebook, TikTok, um, Twitter, All these companies, they're not helping you. We're helping each other with information, right? We're helping each other with information. Let me go ahead and do something real quick. I'm gonna put this in the background real quick. Let me see. Uh, all right. So let me lower myself here. Perfect. All right. Cool. And so all those companies, they're not helping all of you. In fact, they're pretty much laughing. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's Elon Musk on Twitter, doesn't matter if it's Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. They're not helping you. They're not helping you solve this case. They're not stepping in and saying, "Hey, we understand that these individuals decided to delete or take down their social media profiles after this mystery happened." Okay. Now, the nasty part that I was thinking about today is what if all of this was planned, right? What if this was no incident or accident and this was planned? Because and it would make us sick to our stomach that people would do this kind of thing. But if it was planned, and the reason I say that is because when these individuals that should be held responsible, right, are not showing a roller coaster mix of emotions, like regardless if they're fine now, they're not showing other emotions. Like they're not showing a lot of emotions when they're telling stories. Like we see a couple interviews, a lot of blinking, a lot of like, oh, like let me take this story this way, or let me tell my story this way. It's not. It doesn't look pleasant. Re- like relaxed. Like you know what I mean. The interview, all of that stuff doesn't look good. It looks like it almost looked like it was planned, almost. I don't know. It looks very weird, and the reason I say that is because the emotions, the way they did things, is almost like a suspense thriller, scary movie, where they decided to do this and they planned it a specific type of way, like the call to the mom after knowing when the sheriff was actually going to be clocking in, and all of those things. Like it's just the more information comes out, the more evidence comes out. It almost looked like this was a plan the whole time. Very sickening. um I just can't think of a person that wouldn't go through different type of emotions for a friend that they lost or is lost, and or that's missing, anything like that. So yeah, all of that is weird, right? They need to try to find as many monitored cameras that were rolling. They need to crack open social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They need to do all that. And I want you guys to understand that those companies, they're not in your best interest. Whether it's Facebook, whatever, they're not in your best interest. They want to use you. They use you daily. They spy on you daily. They gather as much information as possible. They throw ads at you, even false advertisements or scams, and then they're not held liable, responsible for an elderly lady losing over $100,000 out of her savings or bank account. So those companies are nasty. All those social media companies, they are nasty. It's time, guys. It's time for black people to work together and to not feel satisfied or content with finding an app or a website that you might like. It's time to move on from that. It's time to develop our own. It's time to, ignore whatever isn't made by us, pretty much, that benefits other people or other companies that basically sell our information just to target us in one way or another. You know what I'm saying? So we need to develop our own social media. We need to do we need to create our own YouTube. The same way Jay-Z created Title, and I don't care about how people feel about Jay-Z. Everybody to each his own. There's bigger things that need to be done, said and done, and there's bigger fish to fry right now. But the same way Jay-Z created Title is how we need to move in this technology era. We need to create and develop our own apps, our own websites, and we need to move on. We need to push that shit out. We can't be settling for Facebook, Instagram, and all these whack algorithms, these trash ass algorithms that they be feeding us. No, we need to fix that. And then when we fix it, then we keep them out. You know what I'm saying? So we create it, develop it, and then we keep those people out. Understand? The other thing I wanted to mention is for the youth, this country is not moving in the direction for you to become successful in computers. Okay? If you're not going for a doctor degree, if you're not going for something that has to do in the medical field, that's really like a doctor's degree, like an 8 year, or if you don't plan on going to, becoming a college grad and continuing your studies, this is what I recommend. I recommend that before you get out of high school, you learn as much as you can of a trade, any hobby that's going to help you make money where you can start your own business. Master that. And the only thing that you should touch college or universities for, it's law. Don't focus on nothing else. Go to school and study law. Become a lawyer, become a judge, because they have always targeted you, your people, throughout history. All right? They have framed people. There has been people in jail that have been innocent. Meanwhile, they probably completed an entire sentence, 20 years or more. Like, there's so many stories out there. All right. So definitely pay attention to that, because this whole AI robot thing, the computers, it's not it. Look for whether you want to become a barber, if you want to do HVAC, if you want to be an electrician, a plumber. That way you could do that part time or full time, and at the same time get your education in law, become a lawyer, or go out there and try to become a judge. That is your best bet. You're gonna be helping not only yourself, but an entire community, and a lot of people, your family included, your friends. Shoot, after becoming a lawyer, or even a judge, you can even, run to become mayor, or you could, get into politics, because we need you there. Okay, this message is to the youth. We need you there. It's incredible to me how we live in this country, and we have a lot of politicians that don't have an American name. It's kind of like, mind bugging. Like, honestly, like, I don't understand that part. Like, how did that person get there, and we didn't get one of our own there? That's a question to really ask yourselves. So, um, but yeah, without further ado, let's talk a little bit more about, this case. Um, yeah, man. So if we look at the timeline, right, on Fourth of July, everybody's just trying to have a good time, and for the most part, everybody's gonna be drinking and whatnot. There's a couple people out there, or not a couple, actually, whatever the case may be, showing a picture. There's a picture out there of this kid with a hat facing another kid, and looks like a fight is about to break out. But the problem that I have with that picture, I don't know if I could find it around. The problem that I have with that picture is that other pictures that we've seen of Nolan Wells actually there, I didn't technically see him with a hat. We've always identified most likely the person based off what they're wearing, which has been the gray shorts, right? The gray shorts that he was wearing. But yeah, I was watching this video earlier, and I was like, is that really him? Like, kind of blurry photo. I don't know if it was a short or a video. It could have been a short. Um, and apparently, this lady who helped with the audio is receiving threats. Why would anybody be sending threats if they feel so innocent? Why? Here it is. Now, I still appreciate the grind, and I appreciate the effort. So, guys, obviously we don't want this to get messy, but keep it up, man. We need to keep the algorithm going. We need justice for Nolan Wells, and this is the picture that I'm talking about here. So let me lower this from here. Okay. So they're trying to say that this is Nolan Wells right here. Let me see. Right here, right? But I didn't see any other video or picture of Nolan wearing a hat. I'm not saying, kind of hard to tell, man. But it does look like there's a fight about to break and happen, like, right? Obviously, it looks like, let me show you this, right? This is the picture. He's wearing a hat, but it does look like a fight is about to happen. And there's like two girls there, right? There's like two girls there, and it definitely looks like a fight is about to happen, right? So, I mean, it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Because why, bro? With so many females around and stuff like that, and you trying to just have fun and enjoy your time. Like, who wants? Like, what guy wants another guy in front of their face? Like, no. Like, you know, with exclusion to those other people, but you guys know what I mean. Like that, it looks like there's drama there. Somebody's having miscommunication issues or something, whatever the case may be. But I don't know, man. It looks it's nasty, man. It's nasty because everybody's lying. If none of the stories are matching up, they should all be getting locked up for conspiracy because you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna lock you. If I was a detective or a cop, I lock everybody up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lock all you guys up because none of your stories match. So technically, in my eyes, all of you are lying. This is conspiracy. So until somebody's ready to tell the truth, that's when I'll let you guys go. We're not getting that. We're not getting that. The messier it gets, I feel like the longer it's gonna take. They're gonna try to hold this mystery back for as long as they can. All right, when we already know that based off every information that we've received, the way they're acting, what they're doing fundraisers for lawyers when they're not even in court yet. You know what I'm saying? Um, every action that they've taken down their social media, every action that they have taken looks guilty. If you have nothing to worry about, if you don't care about information being exposed, uh, if you have nothing to worry about, then you shouldn't have to panic. You shouldn't have to go into panic mode and trying to avoid investigations. It's looking like, for me, the more evidence that comes out, it looks like this was all planned. It's kind of hard to believe that you would call yourself a friend. Something like this happens, and you're not even like shaken up, or you're not like going through different emotions. If you call yourself a friend, you know what I'm saying. There's definitely yeah. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm from Philly. I'm a Go Seahawks. They good too though. They good too. I don't got beef. I don't got beef with Seahawk fans. Seahawks, hey, Seahawks should have ran the ball. I'll always remember that Marshawn Lynch. I got somebody on the phone on the other side. talking to me about football. Marshawn Lynch was a beast, yo. Beast mode. Beast mode. And that's the saddest part about this tragedy is that Nolan Wells was an athlete. They took his life away. He had everything positive going for himself. He wasn't in the hood selling drugs. He wasn't dealing with weapons or guns or anything like that. He was gonna be able to make a decision whether it was basketball or football. In college. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad. It's sad to see that that we're losing one. We're losing a athlete that we don't know how bright his future was, but we definitely know that he was talented enough to take it to the next level. That's what one thing we do know because in football you could be like 5'11", 6 foot one, between that height, and you could become a wide receiver. You could play defensive back, cornerback. You know what I'm saying? Um, Young kid whose future was taken away, man. It's unfortunate. Like that's fucked up, bro. You know, it's obvious that when you go to social media, his so-called friends don't have a profile no more, or they deactivated their account. But if you go to Nolan Wells' social media page, you don't see negativity there. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're fighting for justice for Nolan Wells. Tom Brady deflated the ball also. I hated Tom Brady. I don't know what to tell you. They might put him down as the greatest quarterback of all time, and that's fine. That's great. But yeah, I hate it. I hate everything Boston. I hate everything Boston. Yeah. If we're to talk about other subjects in sports, but yeah, man, he was gonna become an athlete regardless. He had a future. Whether it was becoming something in life with scholarships or making it as a professional in a league. It's sad to see him go. So may he rest in peace. Um, condolences to his family. It's a shame. Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think that they did that because all right. So for one, if I have a lot of people around, like you've seen how many boats there were. Um, in a video you could probably count over 20, and you don't want witnesses. So the moment you realize that he's unconscious, you put your fingers here and see if he's breathing or anything like that, etc. Check his heartbeat. Um, you would get out of there. You would take the body with you. You wouldn't dump the body in the ocean where people could see or see you dump the body. Um, unless everybody was in it, right? 100 people was in it. Um, you don't want them seeing you and another person swing and dump the body or take the body somewhere. It's just too nasty. It's too many witnesses. So yeah, of course, take the body with you, and then you do all of that. You do the entire GPS coordination that they showed you. You drive around to different ports and all this other stuff, and then on top of that, somebody commented on one of my videos that they ended up washing or cleaning up one of those boats at 3 o'clock in the morning, which I don't know where they got that information from, but I believe it. Of course, of course. That ranger slash agent, whatever the case may be, didn't find his body till 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:40. And you're telling me you couldn't find his body the day before, on July 5th? It's not adding up. The math ain't mathing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for sure. Like I definitely believe they definitely took the body because if he was alive after the Cito call, why wasn't he handed his phone? If he left with somebody else, why didn't he get in contact with anyone? Why is everybody saying they didn't see him after? And if he was out of there after and he was alive, you would be calling your own phone like, yo, I need my phone, I'm at such and such location. Or I would be calling you if I know your number by heart. Yo, I need my phone, where you at? I'm at such and such location. You know what I'm saying? That's nasty, bro. They kept the phone. There's so many, there's so many um criminal charges that they could be charging these people with. And it's ridiculous, right? Because you keeping somebody's phone is not, it's not only theft, it could also be considered assault. Like if you snatch somebody's phone off their hand intentionally, whatever, that's assault. You understand? So there's so many criminal charges that could be filed against these people. Um, it don't make any sense, man. You know, kidnapping, false imprisonment. There's a lot. Homicide, and another reason I feel like it was planned is because I feel like they might all be in it, man. It's sad if that's the case, but um, I don't think that people are saying Katie is the one that has to like come out and speak the truth or whatever. Man, we don't even know if she's in on it. You think that she's gonna speak up if she's in on it? Like, it's nasty, man. It's nasty. I just I'm like I be trying to put everything together, like different theories, and obviously when I ended up putting a little bit of this timeline, I was like, well, horseplay could be a factor, right, in or out the water. Um, but even then, it's like out of the three, alcohol poisoning and also incident or accident, it's like why lie? Why feel guilty? Why not get them medical attention or medical treatment? Why you left them there? If you so called left them there, why you left them there? Why you didn't get them medical treatment? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then the emotions that they have. There's not a roller coaster mix of emotions. Like you're telling me that he interviews over 30 minutes and not once when he's talking about his friend or trying to remember his friend or remember a good time or a positive thing, one positive thing from his friend, not a tear comes down, or that you got to hold back a tear. Like that's crazy, bro. So it's like the more evidence comes out, the more we see it shit looks like it was plotted. Yeah, you would definitely call your phone. Don't nobody go out without their phone. Everybody need their smartphone. A lot of people out there don't know their family or their mom or dad phone number by heart. You know what I'm saying? Like remember how back in the day, you know, in the 90s, you had to remember like a phone. You would remember like a pattern or whatever, like however your brain worked. You would remember that phone. You know what I'm saying? That phone number. So nowadays everything is on contacts. Like you don't. Everything is on the smartphone. Everything. All the port cycling, ridiculous. Yeah, man. And just it's just nasty work. Like they knew everything. Like they understood everything. Like they knew. Oh yeah, we're not gonna call his mom to such and such time because that's when the sheriff comes in and clocks in, and that's our friend or family friend. Like all that stuff is it's just it looks plotted. It looks like it was all a plan. It's crazy, man. They definitely had help. They definitely had help. I'm mad because I want to understand the motive. Like why? Other than like you gotta be real young and stupid for to blame jealousy in a girl over this. Like seriously. Like for what purpose? What was the motivation behind this? What was the point? I mean, they can and can't, right? Like sometimes an 18-year-old will have a good idea, but you got to understand like the young generation understands technology a little bit better than older folks, right? Um, so they technically they make mistakes when they try to commit a crime. Um, but I wouldn't take away from how smart you are if you're a sicko and you've been watching crime stories, if you've been watching horror films, you know what I'm saying? Mental health, man. Like people start believing shit that they see and that they feel like they can get away with, and you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard. But I feel like the planning is what's important. Was it planned? Because the planning would have helped you. Because thus far they say that there's a video of them boarding the boat or on the dock in the morning, but they don't show anything for the afternoon or evening. Like there's no footage. The sheriff clocking in, and then you call the mom. Then you keep the phone apparently when they went to go try to get the phone, they kept the phone for like a number of hours or something like that. Like who does that? Like seriously, who does that? It was almost like as if they were trying to crack the phone open. Like if they didn't know the security or if they did know the code, they were gonna try to delete evidence or go through the phone for whatever reason, or even trying to plug the phone to a computer and try whatever you can do with the damn phone, trying to figure it out. Um, so it's just so many things, man. So many things that make it seem like it was planned, that make it seem like they did this on purpose. And it's not the first time that these kind of people plan this stuff or do this stuff. Like that's real sickening, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, man, it's possible it was planned. Honestly, yo, the more evidence comes out, the more I think that way. No, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem I have. I have the problem where I don't think that they want to do the work. I don't think the FBI, whoever, because you got to understand, even when the federal government get involved in a crime, they have specific branches. You understand what I'm saying? So, across this country, you got different FBI offices. You know what I mean? Um, and law enforcement itself is a mafia, terrible one. That's why I say, and I was given that message earlier, for the youth and for all of you to tell the youth, don't do these crazy bank loans or whatever the case may be and all this other stuff. No, learn a trade, find somebody with a trade, learn as much as possible, do an internship, tell them that you want to learn whatever the case may be, even if you don't get paid, master it. Okay, get into it, take tests, get certified, start your own company, study law. All right, own your business, study law. Own your business, study law. Protect yourself, protect your community, protect your family, protect your business and company. You know what I'm saying? Um, so do that. Spread the word because that's what needs to happen. That's exactly what needs to happen. We need to let them know, the world has changed. Technology era. It's a discrimination world, type of world or industry. And every year they just want more robots and more AI. So the best thing that anybody could do is own your business and study law. Down to the recording that FBI is not investigating as lead, just support. Right, yo, as support. You've hit it right there. You just said it. Shardy just got done saying. So when we go down to the recording, digital evidence, and camera, FBI is not investigating. They're just a lead to support. They're not investigating as a lead. I'm sorry, just supporting the case, which is terrible because they have access to pretty much Facebook and everything. Yeah, of course, of course. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was mentioning how all of these companies they don't have the best interest for you. Facebook, Twitter. If that was the case, listen. If I was the owner of a company, and you tell me that more than one person that's in a criminal investigation deleted their profile and did some shady shit or whatever, decided to just get rid of social media as soon as possible, I would open up their profile right back up, or I would come out publicly and say we're willing to help with this case because it's kind of strange and odd for someone to do this. Like, what are they hiding? Are they hiding a message? All of that information is there, and the company has it. These social media companies, they have the information. So, to all the content creators, to everyone, listening, definitely make your TikToks, make your live videos, make your shorts on YouTube or Twitter, and continue the algorithm, continue to talk about it because these companies might not want to get involved in it, but you know what? They should. They should. It should be in their best interest to get involved in all of this, um, because we spend a lot of time on social media. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not deleted. Exactly. That's what I was telling. I was saying earlier. The profile's technically not even deleted. It's like suspended, deactivated for a number of days. You know what I'm saying? And they know the password. They can get in the profile anytime they want. I used to work in network operations center. They know when a person is typing a password wrong and exactly why it's wrong. Like they can see it, they can see the input on the other side. Okay, so they know the actual password. These companies know. And that's why we have to encourage the youth that if they are going to get into technology, to get into development, so they can develop their own app, develop their own websites and everything, so we can get away from YouTube, Facebook, and all these other companies that don't have their best interests in our community and our people, that discriminate against us, even on the in the job and working field, like Elon Musk and all these other companies, Google itself. And we need to do that. We need to come up with our own YouTube. We need to come up with our own social media, and we need to keep those people out. We need to keep all those people out, and we need to learn how to expand with other countries and that sort of thing for marketing purposes and that sort of thing. But yeah, man, that's what I'm pissed off about. I'm pissed off because I know for a fact that Facebook, whatever social media that they had, they have the information. They have the information. Um, Another thing, what really pisses me off, the number one thing that pisses me off is that whoever is driving a boat pretty much and takes you off, uh, you know, American soil and whatever things, they should be held responsible. They get certified to follow laws and pretty much be held responsible for anything that happens. Anything. So this guy every day. Now they don't know that don't let this just fly. They are going to find out. That's what I'm afraid of, man. I'm afraid. I'm honestly afraid that they're gonna screw the family over, um, and that this is not gonna get solved until somebody has a grudge down the line. As the years pass by, somebody might end up with a grudge. Somebody might end up getting mad the same way they were mad July 4th, and they're gonna snitch. That's not what I want. I want justice ASAP. I want to know why. What happened? What happened and why? And that's another reason I feel like if it was planned, it was more than one person and everything, because technically, if a problem is between two people and something happens, it's like, yo, that's something that happened between you two. Don't try to include me in it. You know what I'm saying? I saw what happened. You defend yourself the best way you can. Get yourself a lawyer, whatever the case may be. Don't put me in it. You know what I'm saying? Don't put me in it. Um, because that had to do with you and him. It didn't have to do with both of us doing something and then all of a sudden snitching out or dry snitching. No, 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 no. It's totally different. That's why I say they gotta find a snitch, because I think that it was more than one person. There's more than one guilty person here, and part of it is taking the body, hiding it, being an accomplice, helping, and then dumping the body back. If I were to guess, at the bare minimum, three people involved, probably one adult. Three people involved, probably one adult. It's my guess, right? Probably five. It could probably be up to five people involved, but at the bare minimum, three people involved. Because why lie? Something that's what I'm saying. That's the mystery. That's another part or another way of solving the mystery and the crime is if you did know what they were jealous of, or if you found some kind of information that triggered them to doing this, then you would be like, oh, this is why they did it. And you would know exactly who did it and why. And then they can tell you how they did it. See what I mean? But that's the part that I'm trying to figure out. Was you jealous? What was the main reason? Like, oh, I don't get it. The audio, nasty. I'm glad that we got it. I'm like, I'm thankful and I'm happy. That was one of the mistakes they made. Remember how we were talking about 18-year-olds? You're like 18-year-olds ain't that smart. That was their mistake. They made that mistake. They made a huge mistake by calling the CETO dispatch because that audio is not fake. That piece of shit Don Lemon, he's a lemon. I've always hated that guy. He's always tried to project himself to be something that he's not. And then I guess he got jealous and mad that content creators are probably getting more views or more engagement than what he is. And now like he doesn't know what side to play. Like nasty work, bro. Um the audio is crazy. The audio is the one thing that helps us understand and know that Nolan was still with them. One, because they mention his name more than once. They mention his name more than once. Um, it helps us also to understand what time of the day that happened. It also helps us understand that they kind of panic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, so I'm thankful that we got the audio. Yo, the CTO call honestly is what's gonna help this case. And the more we talk about it, I feel like the less they can reject. Like the less that they can deny that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it's there. The call's being recorded. They got the call. Um, and that's gonna be used in court. Like that's the number one evidence right there. That's the right now. That is the hottest piece of evidence that we have because the other evidence is the story's not matching up. The guys, or I don't know what their names are, and the Katie story don't add up. They're not. They can't lie. They don't. It's not the same story. But the audio is the number one hot piece, and that's the one thing that has everybody like, oh yeah, they killed them. It's not even any buts or if like, oh, if Nolan decided to like go around the island or he went and got lost inside the island somehow or No, 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 none of that stuff. Or that he stayed or whatever. No, BS. You know what I'm saying? And they don't. What's that? I saw the MBMR. They don't record all the tracking data. You're saying you feel like when they went back to drop the body that the GPS or tracking system wasn't on. Is that what you're saying? Like whoever keeps track of that boat, because I mean, obviously that entire GPS thing that's a service, right? Even though satellites are up there, and if you knew how to came up with your own, whatever case may be, you could probably have it for free, obviously, but you're paying for a service. You could probably turn off a box or whatever. I don't know what it is, switch whatever GPS. So because probably technically have that in case it's stolen, or keep track of your kids, and when you let them use the actual boat or yacht itself, etc. So you keep track of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Is that what you're talking about? No, the police didn't record each piece of data. Oh, okay, okay, my bad. Okay, I thought you were talking about like more technology. Like if I'm thinking, because I was actually thinking, the way they dropped off the body was probably using a different boat. That's what I was thinking. Because remember how they did all those stops, and they showed the different stops that they did with the GPS. I actually thought there was a possibility where they probably switched. They took the body and put it in a different boat. The other thing I was thinking though was in the GPS coordinates when they say, oh, they were going slow at a certain point and then they started going fast again, etc. If they decided to then, after being long, out of sight of the party or the island, long away from the island, dump the boat and then, start going full top speed in the boat, that would have been another way, but weird. Yeah, I was thinking the possibility of switching boats with anybody that you're unified. The not those boat clubs or whatever. There's pretty much one in pretty much every port, almost not every port, but like for instance, there's one in Puerto Rico, and people they get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? When everybody that docked their boat, they become friends and stuff like that. So some people are connected. And you guys saw all that stuff, all the information that came out, how all those families and all those people are connected through, owning pharmacies, um, being in politics, all that stuff, like crazy. Oh, Bart had three boats in the driveway. Yes, yeah. There's stuff that I'm not even aware of, but we need to continue. We need to keep this going. You know what I'm saying? We need to continue the algorithm going so you guys can continue pushing it forward and sharing the information. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. You guys keep it going. Anybody that tuned in or anybody that watches the live after, um, start your own live. Create a short, post it on Twitter. Keep that algorithm going because these companies They like to take all of our information, but they don't, you know, they don't work for us. They don't help us with these kind of things, and they have the information. They have it. They just don't release it. Yeah, they're gonna try to, man. If listen, you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, the more content you guys make, the more things you guys try to shed a light on, the more they're gonna target you. Whether it's your computer, your smartphone, your network, anything, they're gonna try to target you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Your phone might start slowing up. It might start overheating. Or your computer might start acting up and all this other stuff. Pay attention, man. They don't want you talking about this stuff. They don't want you sharing the information that you may know or that somebody else is talking about. They don't want you to have an idea, a thought, a theory of what could have happened. And unfortunately, we need to continue fighting for justice for Nolan Wells and for his family to figure out why are they lying, who did what, and why. Because we know where it happened. All right, guys, that's my time. You guys enjoy your weekend and continue, playing detective and continue being a great patriot to your own people. Peace.